In this video, I will be showing you how to utilize the Underdog Fantasy Optimizer and how to identify the early edge with Underdog and lock in the sharp bets. But one thing I want to note before jumping into this video is that Underdog sets their lines differently from other major sports books. The whole objective of this optimizer is to catch those mispriced lines so that you have time to take advantage of the discrepancy. Now, there's a lot more hidden math that goes behind identifying these best lines and which ones to attack here on Underdog. But don't worry, we're going to walk through that together. The first thing to note here is that we have direct access to both Underdog's lines and major sportsbooks lines as seen in these two columns here. Also noteworthy is all these major sportsbooks lines across the top. As you can see right below them, they're displayed. Keep in mind these sportsbooks lines are displayed as American odds. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that all of these American odds represent an implied odds that the sportsbooks set their lines to. In other words, these have hidden probabilities behind the implied odds. When each sportsbook sets their line, they're essentially setting their expected value to a certain probability. For instance, let's take a look at row number 2 here with Christian Walker under player basis. As you can see here, Underdog set their line to 1.5. We also compared Underdog's line at 1.5 to the sportsbook line at 1.5. As you can see here, the sharpest sportsbook in the entire world, Pinnacle, set this undervalue to minus 184 odds. In other words, they set their line to minus 184. If you were to place $5 on that line at Pinnacle Sportsbook, you would be receiving $2.72 back. This would be a total payout of $7.72. So as you can see here, this line is incredibly juiced on Pinnacle. You can actually get a far better payout here on Underdog, but we'll go over that here in just a second. Pinnacle setting their line to minus 184 also means that they are giving us an implied odds of 64.79% chance to hit the under at 1.5 total bases. You'll notice on the far right column, we are giving this a 61.2% chance to hit the under. The implied odds percentage and also our fair odds percentage that we have on our optimizer are slightly different. This is because the optimizer takes out the hidden juice in these sports books. Because as we know, each sportsbook has a hidden implied juice added to both their over and under props. So the optimizer does the math for you and takes out all the juice. The fair odds percentage for this prop to hit the under at 1.5 is 61.2%. Now, why does this matter? Let's actually take a look here at the Underdog Payout to see why this matters. For explanation purposes, I'm just going to pair two plays together to see what kind of payouts we receive. As you can see here, Underdog Fantasy pays $5 into $15 when both your plays hit in a two-player slip. This would be the equivalence of putting down $5 on a sports book with 2 minus 137 bets and receiving a 3 times payout. As you can see here, the implied odds are going to be around plus 200. The total profit is just under $10, and this is almost a 3 times payout. So essentially, you're getting 2 minus 137 odds here on Underdog. Our next step is to actually take the juice out of minus 137 to get the exact fair odds percentage for this prop to hit. As you can see using this calculator, the no-vig odds percentage is 57.8% odds to hit. We'll go ahead and round up to 58 to make this simple. This would conclude for a two-player slip, anything over 58% would be a plus EV bet on Underdog. This optimizer figures out the math for you to calculate the plus EV bets and how to remain profitable in the long run on Underdog while comparing all these major sportsbooks lines. You can also filter by the type of slip here at the top for Underdog Fantasy. When you filter by two-man slip, you should see only the 58% and above displayed. Now let's go over the hidden math for the rest of the slip types on Underdog Fantasy. Let's go ahead and add another leg to the slip, making this a 3-player slip. As you can see, this is a 6-time slip when putting these 3 plays into one slip. $5 turned into $30. This is the exact same thing as a plus 500 parlay odds payout. As you can see here, 3 minus 123 bets put together in the same parlay gives me just under a 6 times result. In other words, I put in $5 and I get just under $30 total payout. If I take out the juice of a minus 123 bet, this is equivalent to 55.2% odds. This is the fair odds to hit. So as you can see, if I filter by 3-man slip plus EV plays, it displays anything above 55%. If I were to pair any one of these bets together into a 3-player slip, this would be a plus EV slip. Because again, the fair odds are all greater than 55%. Now let's find out the hidden math for a 4-player slip. As you can see, this is a 10 times payout, so $5 turned into $50 would be my result. As you can see here, this is the equivalence to a plus 900 parlay bet. 4 minus 128 bets together would give me a 10 times payout. As you can see here, the odds are actually better on a 3-player slip on Underdog. This would actually be a 56% fair odds percentage to hit. Factoring in the probability of a 3-man slip to hit compared to a 4-man slip to hit, the 3-man slips are actually better in the long run on Underdog. This is why we don't have a 4-man slip here option to check off. Last but not least, we have a 5-player slip. Let's figure out the hidden math behind this. This would pay out $5 into 100. aka 20 times payout. This would be the equivalent of a plus 1900 parlay odds payout if you were to pair 5 minus 122 bets together. As you can see here, $5 into just under $100. The fair odds percentage for individual bets here is going to be just under 55%. So if I go back to the optimizer and I filter by 5-man slip plus EV bets, it should display anything over 55%. In conclusion, the two best slip options mathematically to remain profitable in the long run on Underdog Fantasy is going to be the 5-man slip plus EV plays and the 3-man slip plus EV plays. What the Underdog Optimizer does is it identifies all the plus EV bets as long as you remain very consistent on choosing these bets. By comparing the sharpest books in the industry to Underdog Fantasy lines, you can identify the bets that will keep you profitable in the long run.